It's time! Book 4 in the ACOTAR series, A Court of Frost and Starlight reading vlog. I am so excited. I finished A Court of Wings and Ruin a couple days ago. That was my favorite book in the series so far. One of my favorite things about this series is the found family and how beautiful it is. This is obviously a really short little book compared to the rest of the series. I am really hoping that we are just going to get the family relaxing. We're going to get them enjoying the vibes. Maybe there will be some, more political drama than like truly world-ending stakes. That's kind of what I'm hoping for from this book. I'm hoping that we'll get to see lots of Rhys and Feyre, lots of the whole family, settling into this new life in this hopefully lasting era of peace. So I am really excited to read this. I cannot wait to start and give you my first update. So stay tuned. I'm back with another A Court of Frost and Starlight update. So I'm about a quarter of the way into the book. I haven't had much reading time this week, unfortunately, so I'm moving through this a little slower than I'd like to be. But overall, it's giving pretty much exactly what I wanted it to give. Like, it's showing some of the problems that they're having, Feyre and Rhysand and the Illyrians and the whole Night Court are going through after the war to, preserve peace and to be able to keep moving forward. I am really loving that we got Cassian's POV in here, and the chapter that is coming up next, where I stopped in the book, we're about to get Moore's POV too, which I am super excited about, getting the additional points of view of the different family members. I am very excited about that. I am really thinking that this is pretty much going to be exactly what I wanted from it, which is, they're getting to spend this holiday time together. We're going to see lots of the family together. We're seeing how they're rebuilding after the war and the things that they're all having to go through to preserve the peace and keep moving forward. So, yeah, I am super excited. I will say, based on some of the talk that we've had in here with regards to Feyre's cycle and the fertility cycles of the Fae, I am definitely thinking that that is going to be foreshadowing that Rhys and Feyre are going to be having a baby at some point in the series. I don't know if it's going to be in this book because I feel like this is so short and just timing wise with the length of this book, I don't know if that's going to be happening in here, but I have a feeling that it's going to be happening in one of the later books, which honestly I am really looking forward to. I think that's going to be really cute, and I think that's going to be really fun to read about. So yeah, overall enjoying this so far, and I'm hoping that it kind of keeps going. I like the pace in this too, where things are happening and people are having to make decisions, and there is a little bit of conflict, like with the Illyrians and the dissent that's happening, and then with, Feyre, Rhysand, all the other members of the family, them having their packed schedules and stuff, but it's not crazy world-ending stakes, which honestly I feel like is what we needed after the trauma of A Court of Wings and Ruin. So yeah, let's see. I'm really, really hoping that I'll be able to finish this by the end of the weekend. I do have a really busy work day today, and also a whole day training for my other job tomorrow. So I definitely am not going to have as much time to read, but I'm really, really hoping that I can get through this before the end of the weekend because I am super excited to start A Court of Silver Flames. So yeah, those are my thoughts so far. Hopefully I will see you really soon for my next update. Back with another A Court of Frost and Starlight update. So at the moment, I'm a little over 100 pages in. I am getting close to the halfway mark, and I have so many thoughts. Again, as I've said in my previous updates, I am really enjoying this book. It was, so far, it seems to be the exact pace and exact kind of thing I was hoping for with this book, where we're not back into the world-ending stakes like we were in A Court of Wings and Ruin. We are just seeing them prepare for the solstice and seeing them deal with the trials and tribulations of trying to create a lasting peace in Prydian. Some predictions and thoughts about future books. I have thought a lot about Tamlin and about whether we are going to see him go through a bunch of character development and get a redemption arc, or if he is just kind of a villain forever and like that is what it is and like it's done, you know what I mean? I have had similar thoughts about Eris. I am wondering if we're going to see him have any character development, have any sort of arc in future books, or if it's just kind of like he's Eris the asshole and like that is what he is, you know? I will say I saw another spoiler. I saw a spoiler about Emery being an important character, and we meet her in this book. So I know that that's important. She's an Illyrian girl. She has clipped wings. Cassian interacts with her in this book when he is purchasing like the winter clothing for the poorer Illyrian soldiers. I am loving the little snippets we're getting of Faye Sand throughout this book. I really, really love them both. And we are also seeing how both of them are continuing to have to sacrifice in ways for their kingdom, which I know is like a thing they have to do, but it is just interesting to like see it play out. I have really liked that we're also getting some more POVs in here. I really have enjoyed getting Cassian's POV. I've enjoyed Morgan's POV, even though her memory of what her family did to her is like devastating and awful and so fucking sad. Also, Feyre beginning to paint again, how the first thing she paints is her in the Ouroboros mirror. It's her in that like beast form. I thought that was really beautiful. Somebody who is a painter, who considers themselves an artist, like Feyre talking about all that was so relatable and so beautiful to me. I'm going to try to find the specific quotes. Page 82, Feyre says, I'd never painted with a group before. I rarely like to share my paintings with anyone. And this first time back in front of a canvas, unsure of what might come spilling out of me, ... Like, so good. And then this one is page 85, after she has done this painting. And she says, but it began to emerge, began to take form, and in its wake a sort of quiet followed, as if it were a layer of snow blanketing the earth, clearing away what was beneath. More cleansing, more soothing than any of the hours I'd spent rebuilding the city. Equally as fulfilling, yes, but the painting, the unleashing and facing it, was a release, a first stitch to close a wound. Like, yes! Like, that is how I feel! I just have never tried to put it into words. I've just always painted it. So, and then yeah, Tamlin being in a, not to like totally segue to a different topic, Tamlin being in a really bad way is interesting, and that was part of what brought up the thought of, you know, is he going to be getting a redemption arc? Like, is he going to have some major character development, or is he just going to be like a sad, sad guy and like that's it for him? Last thing I wanted to talk about is Nesta. Nesta's back to pissing me the fuck off. Between like pages 100 and 104, Elaine and Feyre are talking about Elaine having a visit with Nesta. And like, Nesta just so far is such a bitch. And like, she's done good things, but and like I understand she's done good things. I understand she's been really important for the plot, really important for Prydian, important for the Night Court. But at the same time, like, her being mean to Elaine, like, bitch, I'll kick your ass. Like, I don't know. She's pissing me the fuck off again. And I am really, really interested to see. I know that A Court of Silver Flames is, like, her book. And I'm really, really interested to see if Sarah J. Maas can make me like her, because at the moment I don't. I also, when I started this series, I was like, Nesta reminds me of my younger sibling in the way that she can be a little bitchy. And then the more I've read from her, I'm like, no. Like, I love my sibling. Like, I love my sister, and she's a little bit prickly, but like, love her to death. And Nesta, I'm like, you're just fucking pissing me off. Like, show us. And I get that, like, the things that she's done have been her, like, redeeming qualities, but then I'm like, if your personality has no redeeming qualities, how am I supposed to like you? How? So, yeah, those are my current thoughts. But I am really excited to keep reading. I'm excited to finish this. I've been really, really loving being immersed in this world, and I know I'm going to be super, super sad when I am done with this book and also book 5, because I know that book 5 is probably going to be really different to this one, with this being just like a quick, um, quick, lower stakes novel. So, yeah, those are my current thoughts. Hopefully, I'll have another update for you soon. I have finished A Court of Frost and Starlight. Right off the bat, I'm going to say this book gave exactly what I was hoping it was going to give. We have some setup for the future books, so we do have a little bit of conflict, but for the most part, it was really just them doing a little bit of healing, enjoying the holiday, spending time with the family, which I really enjoyed. That was exactly what I was hoping for in here. Now, for some of my thoughts on the plot. Rhysand's birthday gifts to Feyre I thought were super sweet. I loved how he knew exactly what she wanted, even though she hadn't asked for it. I just thought that was really sweet and a really nice detail that was in this book. I also really love Elaine's friendship with Nuala and Caradwyn. I love that we're seeing Elaine start to embrace a little bit more of this new life, even though it wasn't what she wanted and wasn't what she asked for. I really enjoyed that. One thing I want to say overall, as I've gotten deeper into the ACOTAR fandom, I've seen a lot of people say that they dislike Feyre, and to me, that's just so not relatable. I really, really love Feyre. I do think that she has some flaws, but I think she's really. Hi, son. I do think that she has some flaws, but I think she's really good at owning up to them and, and trying to be better and move forward. I also think that she really does just want everyone around her to be happy, which for me that is like so relatable. And even if she doesn't always go about it in the right way, that is like her main goal and main intention, which is something that I personally can really relate to. I do have a quote that I found that kind of relates to that as well. It's when Lucian comes into the house before solstice. Elaine is like not super stoked to see him, and Feyre is kind of trying to push Elaine to interact with him more. And it's after the fact when Feyre is speaking with Mor, and Mor says to her, I know you still blame yourself for your sisters being made. Mor nudged my knee with her own. And because of that, you want to fix everything for them, now that they're here. I always wanted to do that, I said glumly. Mor smiled crookedly. That's why we love you. Why they love you. Like, son, you want to come be in the video? Jump! Use those little legs. You got them. Hey, Bug. I have a helper now. We have a little helper. But, yeah, I will say one of the other things I will say is I really like that we finally got some of Nesta's POV in here. She was, quite frankly, pissing me the fuck off. And the short chapter that we do get from her POV that happens after Solstice, it shows that she's obviously super, super depressed, which I feel like does explain a lot of her behavior and a lot of the decisions that she's made in this book, because, you know, we've seen her do some amazing things. Like, we've seen her in A Court of Wings and Ruin. She almost sacrificed herself in order to try to save Cassian's life. But we hear her from her in this chapter. We hear her internal monologue, and it says she hadn't felt anything in months. Had days when she didn't really know where she was or what she'd done. They passed swiftly and yet dripped by. So did the months. She'd blinked and winter had fallen, blinked and her body had turned too thin, as hollow as she felt. So clearly she's really struggling with depression. And to me, I feel like that did make me a lot more sympathetic towards her and her character, because I know how that feels. But at the same time, as somebody who went through that when they were younger, like, the best thing you can do is to keep forcing yourself to make connections, go out and try to do the things you love, because that is how you can heal and get back to a place where doing those things brings you joy. So I'm kind of in two minds about Nesta at this point, because I understand how she feels and I understand what she's going through, and I know how hard and how awful that is. But at the same time, like, you can't heal without taking steps to heal, which she is obviously not doing at this point. I don't really know how to phrase this, but knowing what I know about her now does make me look forward to her book. And I'm much more excited to get into A Court of Silver Flames now, because I'm hoping we will see her go on that healing journey and, you know, have some character growth and development after she heals and starts to feel better. So that is something that I'm really looking forward to, hopefully, in the next book. Next couple of things I wanted to talk about. The snowball fight is obviously so cute and, like, so sweet, and again, that is just exactly what I was hoping for with this book, is moments like that, moments of the family, you know, experiencing joy, getting to all be together. So I really, really enjoyed that. I thought that was really beautiful. I also, Feyre's gifts to Rhysand also, like, made me super emotional. How in front of everybody on Solstice, she gives him the painting of how she saw herself in the Ouroboros mirror. There's a quote on page 185 where she says, "I gave him me, as no one but him would ever see me. No one but him would ever understand." And I thought that that was so, so beautiful. I absolutely loved that. And then obviously how when they're at the cabin, she tells him that she is ready to start trying to have a child with him. I thought that was really, really sweet. Back to Nesta and Cassian, how he insists on walking her home after Solstice, and then it's Cassian thinking, but the image of her leaning over him, covering Cassian's body with her own, ready to take the full brunt of the king's power for him, to die for him, with him, that slender, beautiful body arching over him, shaking in terror, willing to face that end. Like, you know, I just am really excited to see what we get from Nesta, because at the moment I am a Feyre girly. I do like the other two sisters. Nesta still has been pissing me off. I think at the moment I'm like Feyre, Elaine, Nesta. So I am really excited to see in the next book what else happens with that. And then Rhys revealing that his mom made all of the gowns that Feyre has been wearing, that made me so emotional. This book definitely has made me shed a few tears at certain points, and that was one of them. Like, his mom being a seamstress, loving to sew, and making all these gowns for his future bride. I thought that was really, really beautiful. And then also Reese buying her the land so she can, like, build the house for all of them, because the townhouse is too small and the House of Wind is, like, too far and, like, too formal. I just thought that was really, really beautiful. Farah says, Reese, it's too much. His face became deadly serious. Not for you. Never for you. And nothing's ever too much for her. I'm gonna cry. So good. I did also love that we got so many different POVs in this book. I thought that was really nice because I feel like I've kind of been craving those perspectives of the other family members. The final quote that I wanted to read is on page 207. And Farah says, never enough. Not to paint him, know him. Eons would never be enough for all I wanted to do. See with him. For all I wanted to love him. That is like the most, oh my god, that like knocked me on my ass emotionally because I feel that's like exactly how I feel about my husband, and that just really got me. I thought that was really, really beautiful. And the final thing that I wanted to talk about is Farah opening her studio to do free kids like art classes and art therapy. I thought that that was so, so sweet, and that just made me so happy, especially as somebody who is a painter and has dreams of doing something like that myself one day. I thought that was really beautiful that that dream was able to happen for her. So I really, really loved that. I thought that was awesome. Overall, I really, really enjoyed this book. This was like a solid, cute 5-star read. Definitely a very different tone from the other books, but I felt like that was so needed after all of the kind of dark events of A Court of Wings and Ruin. I felt like this really gave exactly what I wanted it to give, and I really appreciated that so much. I can definitely see myself rereading this like yearly around Christmas time, especially since it is such like a short read. So, yeah, those were my thoughts. I really enjoyed this book. I am looking forward to reading A Court of Silver Flames. That vlog will be posted hopefully about a week after this one goes live. So stay tuned for that. Definitely give me a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I am really trying to make YouTube a priority this year because I find a lot of joy in it. So more reading vlogs, book hauls, regular vlogs of doing things like book shopping, bookish events, all of that stuff you can expect from me on this channel, as well as book recommendations, maybe some tags, maybe some like book question tags, all that good stuff. So yeah, definitely stick around if you're interested. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that I will see you in my next one. Bye!